This training will address the McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Act. The McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Assistance Act is part of Every Student Succeeds Act, signed into law on December 10, 2015. The Act ensures the educational rights and protections for children and youth experiencing homelessness. It also ensures that students in homeless situations will be given the opportunity to meet the same academic standards expected of all students. Under the McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Act, the term homeless children and youth is defined as individuals who lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. This includes children and youth who are sharing the housing of other persons due to the loss of housing, economic hardship, or similar reason. Those living in motels, hotels, trailer parks, or camping grounds due to a lack of alternative accommodation. Those living in emergency shelters or are abandoned in hospitals. It also includes children and youth who have a nighttime residence that is a public or private place not designated for or ordinarily used as a regular sleeping accommodation for human beings. Also, those who are living in cars, parks, public spaces, abandoned buildings, and substandard housing, and migratory children who lack a fixed, regular, and adequate residence due to similar circumstances. The law states that we must remove all barriers to a homeless student's ability to receive the same free, appropriate public education as provided to other students. Federal law also requires all school districts to identify students in homeless situations. The McKinney-Vento Act also requires that homeless students who move have the right to remain in their school of origin if it is in the student's best interest. In the event a homeless student was to change schools, the student must allow immediate enrollment at the new school, even if they do not have the records normally required for enrollment. Transportation must be provided to and from a student's school of origin at the request of a parent, guardian, or, in the case of an unaccompanied youth, the local liaison. Homeless students must have access to all programs and services for which they are eligible, including special education services, preschool, school nutrition programs, language assistance for English learners, career and technical education, gifted and talented programs, summer learning, online learning, and before and after school care. Unaccompanied youth must be accorded specific protections, including immediate enrollment in school without proof of guardianship. And parents, guardians, and unaccompanied youth have the right to dispute an eligibility, school selection, or enrollment decision. Under the law, the school district must identify a homeless liaison. The homeless liaison is the only person authorized to designate a student as homeless. The appointed district homeless liaison is responsible for designating a student as homeless, helping with immediate enrollment, coordinating services, resources, and provisions for students experiencing a residential transition, coordinating transportation to the student's school of origin when feasible and in the best interest of the child, and working with staff to ensure that the student is provided equal opportunity for academic success. Provisions offered under McKinney-Vento may include transportation, free breakfast and lunch, tutorials, school supplies, personal hygiene items, referrals for health and community services. As you can imagine, the potential for negative effects is increased when a student becomes displaced. When a student changes schools frequently, especially under stressful situations, their academic performance may be impeded. Test scores and overall academic performance may suffer when students lack educational continuity. Research shows that it can take as much as 4 to 6 months for a student to recover academically after changing schools. Students who've experienced homelessness may perform 2 to 3 years below grade level. Families are the fastest growing segment of the homeless population in the United States, accounting for 40% of those in homeless situations. Two trends are largely responsible for the rise in familial poverty over the last 15 to 20 years, specifically a growing shortage of affordable housing and a simultaneous increase in poverty. The homeless student population is also made up of unaccompanied youth, who are defined as individuals who are not in the physical custody of a parent or guardian, often becoming homeless as a result of physical or sexual abuse by a parent or guardian, neglect, parental substance abuse, and family conflict. Under the recently authorized Every Student Succeeds Act, Special emphasis has been added to meet the needs of both preschool and high school homeless students to ensure both groups receive timely and customized support, which can include early intervention in preschool settings and transitions for high school students, including college and career readiness support. All school staff have the opportunity and the charge to support homeless students and families. While every district must have a McKinney-Vento liaison, the number of homeless students and the scope of their needs may be challenging for just one person to address. That is what makes the role of teachers, school administrators, counselors, and other staff so critical. Though homeless children and youth may face great challenges, a caring adult who can ensure that a student's rights are upheld can make a world of difference. Tips regarding how to help homeless students can include creating a welcoming environment and building trust with all students. Many homeless students hesitate to identify themselves as homeless due to shame, fear of stigma, and concern about possible consequences of this identification. By not being identified, however, these students miss out on critical supports. Building a safe and supportive environment in your school or classroom can benefit all students and alleviate these concerns for homeless students. Help to identify and support homeless students in a discreet manner and avoid the term homeless. While it is important not to jump to conclusions about a student due to their appearance or performance, there are often warning signs that a child or youth is experiencing homelessness. For example, a child may fall asleep repeatedly in class, wear the same clothes multiple days in a row, have poor hygiene, fail to complete homework, or be regularly late or absent. In these circumstances, always be sensitive and understanding. Many homeless youths experience trauma even before they become homeless, and the experience of homelessness can expose youths to violence, abuse, and other traumatic experiences, including hunger and illness. Teachers and other school staff who deal directly with children should always employ sensitivity and understanding in conversations with homeless students. Ensure that school and classroom policies and procedures, such as disciplinary policies, are fair to homeless students and do not negatively impact them because of their homelessness. Consider providing extra time or other accommodations for homeless students on homework and projects, or extra resources that may be needed, such as access to printers, computers, and school supplies. Review attendance policies to ensure that they do not disproportionately penalize homeless students who may face difficulty arriving on time to school. Work with campus support staff and district homeless liaison to coordinate support and resources for the student. For more information regarding the McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Assistance Act and resources specific to Leander ISD, check out the Homeless Services website located on both the district and campus websites. Also, student residency questionnaires can be obtained in your campus registrar's office. Feel free to contact Lori Trainum, our district homeless liaison, with any questions.